Welcome to the Lone Jack Totally Off Track podcast, a family ran show with myself, Amanda, and my husband, Nolan, and my brother, Matthew, that is, well, a little bit off track. We will cover a wide range of topics. We don't take ourselves too seriously, and you shouldn't either. Thank you for being here, and we hope you enjoy the show.
So I was talking with my wife. I changed my shirt. I realized I've done with all the podcasts we've done. I've worn like the same two shirts, so I had to. People think maybe I only own two.
Well, I guess if we would have known you were wearing your MKC one, he could have worn it, and you guys could have matched. Because I think you've worn it on a couple of the podcasts. So he could have worn one of the couple shirts he wears.
Now that people probably think that he's wearing my shirt.
Oh my gosh, you guys are sharing.
It's okay.
We were in Grangeville last night at the RMEF banquet there.
My God, you guys are well traveled. Every time we do this, you're like, we got in at 2 a.m.
Last night we actually got home here before 11. I think maybe it was a little after 11.
I'm gonna be honest.
It ended at
farted in here. I don't know if it was you or the dog or the cat, but someone definitely farted.
Come on, we got derailed already.
I know.
So it ended at a reasonable time. If you guys got home at 11, would it end at like 9?
I don't remember what time we left there, but
I guess I didn't even take note.
We were in bed here before midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
So,
because I got in bed at midnight at the Moscow one, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Ours goes longer, probably.
We have a couple more like live auction items.
It's just bigger. It takes longer.
Yeah.
More general raffle, probably.
Yeah.
We didn't.
I like the live auction.
We've been able to get like a couple things. Like last year, we got the pack out, the Milwaukee pack out.
Mm-hmm.
Like 3 boxes for Nolan, and in the live auction, because stuff usually is kind of reasonable. There was a couple things I was interested in the live auction because I was like, hey, sometimes they don't go for very much. Goodness gracious, people showed up to spend money last night.
And then the couple things that we could have got, I was distracted and didn't realize what was being auctioned at the time because I was talking to someone else or whatever, and then she was trying to get my attention and I didn't hear her.
Like there was like a Yeti backpack, like cooler.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of was interested in that, but I didn't know. I usually have asked like beforehand, like how much do you want me to, or like how much can I spend on that?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know you can get it cheaper off of RMEF or off of Yeti. Like most of the time, but like this is for the elk and for the
that's not
Grangeville.
Getting
yeah. So anyway, but he was distracted on that, and then there were a couple pictures, but even like
old pictures.
They were like the bugle, RMEF prints from 88, 89, and 87, I think, and there were like 4 of them, so they did look like kind of old, but I thought they were kind of cool, and but even those went for. Wasn't it like $450 or something?
I think so.
Which is like more than like the print goes at, like the RMEF print from the year goes for at our banquet. But anyway, people showed up to spend money. Also, Dad learned very quickly, item number 1, don't make any moves toward the auctioneer if you are done bidding. Because...
Oh, did he do something like this?
He shook his head
said
and
no,
like that.
and the guy goes, okay, you're on.
Well, when you're bidding, this means half.
Okay. Well, he just
I've learned that.
Shook his head, but then like right after, so he bought a cake for $500.
Well, this is probably what Dad did. He probably put his head down. He probably went like this, and that's what the auctioneer saw.
I didn't even see it, and I didn't even know he was on. All of a sudden, it was sold, and your dad was just laughing, couldn't believe that it was him. Because there was a dude directly in front of him that was also bidding. And, he was just laughing, and then they brought the paper over for them to sign, and he was like, I told him no. I told him I was done. And he still put me on.
But so then like after that, he's like, any movement above the waist, I'm going to take as a bid. So we all just were like sitting there like, don't move a muscle. But
okay.
you're like looking at him, but if you're just sitting
turn
there.
away or
That's not
something.
fun. Yeah. Anyway, I was like,
But
oh goodness.
We learned that doing storage units. Like I would always do this, and the auctioneer was like, "Hey, where I'm from, that means half the bid when you slash." I think the guy was doing like across his chest, so like rather than like a 50 increase, it means 25.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I was like, maybe Dad did that, and the auctioneer was like, "Oh, okay, he wants 25 up on the bid, not 50." Oh, that's funny. I'm sure Dad went like this. He went like this, and then shook his head no, and in the heat of the auction.
Seen it. Did you even know he was bidding on it?
Well, I did. I knew he was bidding, but then like I know he did ask, is it me or is it him? Because the guy was like right in front of him.
Just directly in
Yeah.
line with the auctioneer.
Bidding, and then the auctioneer, yeah. And so he's like, was it me or him? And I was saying he's looking at you, but Dad's deaf, and it's actually really loud in there. And so like you would have to pretty much scream to be actually heard.
My Apple Watch said that the decibels are over 90 decibels, and an extended like 30 minutes of this volume can lead to temporary hearing loss.
Mm-hmm.
That's how, just sitting in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's loud. So he didn't hear me, but I was trying to say he's looking at you, but then he didn't, and then I'm not sure exactly what happened, but it was kind of funny. Mom wasn't very happy about it, though.
He has bought a lot of Montana Knife Company knives at banquets. And as we were walking in, or just as we got in, there was a guy came in and walked past us that had a MKC hat on and a shirt. And so I told Dad, I'm like, you're going to be bidding against that guy.
Yep, he wants it, man.
But then there was another guy wearing a hat,
Mm-hmm.
but there was a knife in the live auction, but no, not any three of those bought it.
Mm-mm.
So,
Hmm.
but yeah, I was like, that guy, he's all decked out. He likes his knives.
Speaking of a sponsor, I mean, if we could get to that level, they could sponsor us. My dad spent a lot of money there.
I was thinking you were talking about. No, I was thinking about a sponsor. I use this company called Loops when I go to concerts. I don't know. They're like they're a little different than earplugs. Their design's different, but it just brings the volume down to a manageable level. I used to go to the metal shows. My ears would ring for like 4 days after, and it's like, man, hey, in there those loops, because it doesn't. I don't know. It makes it quieter, but it's still. It's not like you're like taking one out, being like, "Can I hear the music?" I don't know. It's a loud, manageable level. It's like that would be.
Can you control? Or are they just? They're not like.
They're like a silicone earplug, but I don't know. I think that there's some kind of a special design. That's the ones I used. It doesn't really distort the quality of the music, and then like you can hear like Maddie talk at like a concert. It's not a talk; it's a scream, but you can still hear that. But
that would have been. I mean, something like that would be helpful at a banquet like Grangeville's, because it was loud. And then the MC they had their sound system. Basically, they had speakers up front that took one mic, and then speakers on the other in the back that took another mic. And
so
that was like this the whole time.
You had to use both mics.
Yeah, the one
like this.
Yeah, like you're skiing.
Okay. But I don't know what his deal was, but you could not hear a word. Like,
I think because like,
was it because he didn't hold it up to his mouth close enough?
No, it was definitely the chew in his mouth.
Oh,
I saw him putting it in. I'm like, no wonder we can't hear a word this guy is saying.
That's because, charity benefits in Idaho. They don't take the chew out during the MC,
He had like a pretty long, well, I think it would have been a pretty big beard, but then he had it all like greased, and was it braided?
It wasn't a beard. That was just his mustache.
That was his mustache that came.
And like, it was
just two things that came.
That's pretty cute.
There was a Luke Combs signed guitar there, and the auctioneer was like, I don't know how much this is worth because I don't know who Luke Combs is. And it was kind of funny.
Someone's like, well, he kind of looks like you, and the guy was like, well, he must be a good-looking fella then.
Heck yeah.
As the auctioneer, he was a pretty big guy with a big, like...
He had a big white beard.
He had like a 2 or 3 button, just straight down white beard.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so no, it was fun, but yeah, I think Mom and Dad said we're probably
Mom's
not...
done. Mom barely went this year.
Yeah, she only went this year because of me, she said. But, yeah, next year we'll have a whole probably different kind of celebration with you and Maddie because this is our birthday weekend. Speaking of which, we should sing happy birthday to the birthday boy.
Please don't sing happy birthday. I've got that twice already.
Who else did you get it from?
My mother-in-law called me. And my sister called me first thing.
Was her rendition as good as mine?
It was very similar, where it was loud enough that it kind of cut out every now and then. So I was like, yeah, this is nice. Thank you, Linda. I really appreciated it.
Well, Roscoe didn't. He was sitting behind me and his ears went flat. Like,
Aww.
Why is this happening? He does not like my singing. He was even just sitting over by the doorway and I started singing and he left. So,
hey, we talked about this a little bit this morning when you called me. That, hey, I don't know, this is to the family, so if you're not part of the family, you can stop listening to this portion of the podcast. Family, whatever you're doing, stop doing it at that time of year, because we got too many kids getting born right around Amanda and I's birthday. We're already right next to each other. We got one right after, and two right before now. It's like, stop screwing around, okay, in, what is it, June?
Yeah,
Wait a month or a month.
On the 4th of July, so we feel very patriotic now.
Yeah, so quit doing that.
March, February, January, December, November, October, September, August. Yeah, July. So it is like July, right at the first part of July, end of June. So it is patriotic. People are seeing those fireworks and
does it happen out? It happens outdoors. Ugh, ugh.
It's good we haven't had any family 4th of July gatherings.
Oh. That's funny. Yeah, don't be walking through the tall grass of the family 4th of July gathering. You're going to see April 3rd's baby showing up, you know. I really actually don't care. I just think it's funny that, we have, I don't know, it used to be...
like the whole family is basically March and April, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, March and April are the times.
It was March. Like, it was just us and then Uncle Mike, because him and I share a birthday. Yeah. It was like the three of us that had April, and now it's becoming overpopulated.
Yeah, and then what? We waited till July and September, right?
8 birthdays in March?
It's ridiculous.
Between both families.
Yeah.
Because, I think my mom has 3 or 4 on her side that are in March, and then we've got quite a few.
Isn't Reagan in March?
No, Reagan's
He's
July.
in July sometime. Grandpa's in July, or is he in June?
He's June.
Yeah.
Grandma's July.
Grandma's July. Okay.
July's another good month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yours truly.
20. Yeah, I'm not gonna say your birthday. I'm sorry.
Maybe people will send me.
Maybe a little happy birthday email.
He could use, what all could you use for your birthday? Money?
Stuff to go caribou hunting in Alaska.
Yeah. That's funny.
I was talking to Ed Westbrook, and he has a lot of stuff that he's just going to let me borrow.
Oh, that's nice.
Like, he's got, 2 or 3, solar panel arrays that he uses to charge his battery pack. And
that's lovely.
So they're like, don't buy anything. If you need something, just ask.
Oh, perfect.
I kind of wish Nolan would shoot a caribou like Ed's, because I think it's one of the prettiest caribou I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he says it's not the biggest one, but it's what he wanted. It has lots of, it's got a good top, so it has lots of points. It's not super heavy. Mm-hmm. The whole base beams aren't super heavy, but when it gets up top, it's got, 8 points on each side.
And it is so pretty because it's actually really brown still. It's not...
he shot it in August.
Yeah, so you're probably not going to have brown ones like that.
Yeah, they're really hard to score. I'm sure. I know that the tops, you want big tops. You want them to look like a C. The more curve there is in them, and that you want one. Is it called a bez or a paddle? I don't know. They're really hard to score. I've watched 4 YouTube videos and
he said he really wanted 2 paddles, but this one has 1 paddle and then a partial thing that sticks. That's
what I've seen. Most of them have one big one, and then the other one will be small, about half the size,
just like a poker.
Yeah, and I still have no idea.
This isn't like a paddle. It's like a tine, like the deer antler. That's all it looks like. That's kind of wavy.
Because you can tell when an elk is big, but
his paddle's probably 6 to 8 inches, probably.
Oh wow! Yeah, so I have.
It just goes up, and then each side. It's not the same on each side, but once it comes up on the top, it's just things. Just a bunch of them just poke up.
If I see a caribou this time, I'm happy.
I guess I'm going to be the only one that doesn't go to Alaska this year.
Yeah? You don't want to drive up with the big man?
And what? Just sit there while you guys go hunting?
And then Mom's driving back.
Yeah, she's flying up there to drive back. That's what I'm saying. So Maddie got to go for spring break. Mom's going to go get Dad. I'm the only one not going to Alaska this year, and I'm feeling a little left out.
Do you want to have dinner with my father-in-law? You can fly up there with me and then just fly home.
No, I guess I'll just stay here.
Well,
actually, it'll be nice. Everybody will be gone.
Yeah, you'll have some.
I'll have free range of.
How are you going to take care of those animals and these animals? You're going to be busy.
I am going to be busy. There's going to be a lot of driving.
In the end of summer too. Well, I guess it's fall by then, September. So.
Yeah.
One thing he did say, if you see caribou, don't pass up and say, "Oh, I'm going to get a bigger one," because you may never see a herd again.
I'd heard that yeah.
If you get a chance, shoot it and take what you can get, because they will. And he said, like, they do migrate, but they don't know where they're going.
Mm-hmm.
Like he said, they'll go this way for a long time, and then all of a sudden all of them will just turn 90 degrees and go the other way, and then go backwards. Or maybe not backwards, but
I don't think I've ever related so much to something in my life.
like he said, they don't just go like they're heading to a different range or whatever. They're just kind of going, and they all of a sudden just for no reason decide to go a different direction, and then they go that way for a bit, and then they just randomly flip a coin and go a different direction. And he did say, like, whenever he was there in August, because he flew into Fairbanks, rented a car, drove the road north to some other little joint, and then they flew in from there.
Okay.
So he drove like 6 hours from Fairbanks.
Okay.
To another place that had a little airstrip, and then flew into somehow, I think drove to some little town that had a little airstrip, and then they flew out from there.
That makes sense, because in August they're still pretty far north, so 6 hours north of Fairbanks, and then a couple 100-mile plane trip.
He was in the Brooks Range though, but
oh yeah.
Anyway, he just said that, like, we'll have less mosquitoes. He said the first couple days he was there, it was unbearable, but then we'll probably have more weather.
Yeah, that's what my wife said. She said that's their state bird up there is the mosquito.
Yeah.
They're big effers too.
When we were in Texas last year, it was so funny because it's changing the topic, I guess, but
no, we're on mosquitoes. We don't have to talk about Alaska.
But Nolan went hunting with his brothers. They were going out for, I don't know what you were hunting.
Hogs.
Coyotes? Hogs? Okay.
Anything that was legal.
Hogs,
you were
coyotes.
hog hunting in shorts? That doesn't seem safe. Anyway, okay, they went out hunting. I was at the house with mom-in-law and my sister-in-law, and we're standing in the driveway because, it's pretty nice, besides it being really humid. But we're standing there, and I was just getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, flies, all kinds of things were biting me, okay? And I was like, I can't do it anymore. I'm going inside. And it was so funny because my mother-in-law was like, "What? There's no mosquitoes here." And I was like,
she's like, "There's no bugs.
There's no bugs here." And I was like, "Yeah, there is. I'm being eaten alive." And she's like, I'm like, "There are less bugs where I live in the woods. Like, I can't do it anymore."
And it had rained, it was 90 some degrees, and it had rained, well, I guess counting the night we got there, 6 inches in 7 days. Yeah. 6 inches in 5 days.
5 days. Yeah. And so then when Nolan got home, he said that they were like trudging through, because where they went through a swamp, but he had ran into like a rose bush. And so then they finally got up kind of on like a dry spot, and they were looking for animals. And he was sitting there, and he said he could feel like all the mosquitoes just biting his legs. But he was like, well, I know there's poison ivy around here, so I don't want to like rub it on my legs and then rub it somewhere else or whatever. But what you did end up rubbing down your leg, and you just like wiped off what felt like a sheet of mosquitoes that was on his leg.
And my brother,
but like the scratches from the rose bush like attracted them, and then they were just like.
But my brother, he's something about him. They really come onto him, and he could hardly. So we were hunting at night. We had like either an IR scopes or thermal, And
Yeah.
there we were calling coyotes. So you'd be looking through your scope at at night trying to see if anything was coming in. And apparently my brother could hardly even he hardly spent any time because it was just nonstop. They were just eating him through his shirt on his back. And later the next day,
he showed us what it looked like.
It looked like he had chicken pox on his back.
Oh my God!
So many bites.
But there was
no!
That night with me going out in shorts.
Well, I just thought if you were really hunting hogs, why were you in shorts? That seems dangerous.
Well, it's okay.
I thought we were gonna just be on this road next, to an open field, and we were gonna wait till they came out, or we were gonna call coyotes and whatever into this field, or if hogs came out, because it was kind of the same area we had went and shot earlier in the day to make sure our guns were good, and that's not where we went.
They went walking through a swamp,
and we headed out into just a pasture, and pretty soon I was in water to my knees, and we just kept walking and just kept going in this. And I'm like, there's no coyotes out here. There's no hogs out here. There was cranes. There was
sandhill
cranes out there. Well,
they can hunt those down there, can't they?
Blue herons.
I've heard sandhill crane is like ribeye of the sky.
I think they were blue herons. And we
really?
we just kept going in this, and I was like, there's nothing out there's nothing swimming out here.
We're the only thing dumb enough to be out here.
Yeah. And then when we finally turned around and went back to the pickup, and we got back, and I'm like, that was the stupidest thing I've ever done in my life. Like, there are water moccasins in this country. I was literally just walking through ankle deep to knee high water.
I just flashed
in the dark,
Lonesome Dove.
In the dark, and you're just walking.
It's okay.
Yeah, it was like Dumber and Dumbest.
And then we went and just walked. I thought then we were calling it quits, but then we just went on the road and then just walked down the road, which was a river at the time. All the rain they had.
But I guess we already talked about this because this is when we talked about the frogs that you saw.
The big old frogs, those North Texas frogs.
Yeah, those big old boys. So that was all the same time. Yeah. But anyway, there was mosquitoes in Texas is what we're getting at.
Well, yeah, but
I think everyone in the world knows
but
that.
I picture
my mom,
Alaska being way worse is what I was trying to say. Is like that was bad. But like when we were in Alaska, there wasn't mosquitoes because we were on a boat, and then like when we were on land.
Yeah, it was springtime. They don't like the rain. When we fished, it rained a lot.
It was in June or July. So, yeah. But anyway.
So we'll see how bad it is in September north of or wherever we go. Somewhere in Alaska, we don't know the location. I just hope that these pilots have been flying around and seeing potentially where caribou are, and the guy isn't just like, "Oh, we're dropping you at this spot. Good luck."
There's some weird rule with that they can't help you because they're not guides. They can't help you locate the caribou. Something like that. I don't know. They pussyfoot around it would be the way. Because if they take you to where they're seeing I don't know. It's some weird rule. I think it's basically if they say it out loud, it's against the law. But if they just do it, it's not. They explained it to us last time.
Ed said the pilot they had, they knew kind of where they were potentially where the caribou were headed or where they had been going. Like, it's not like, oh, it looks like they're going to cross through this area in a day.
Yeah.
But I hope I hope the caribou aren't 5 miles away and we get sent to the other side of wherever they're.
I hear you. Well, the good news is they walk at like 18 miles an hour. That is a joke. They walk fast. Yeah, so, but no, it is. It's going to be a good time. I'm not too nervous to this time.
He just had some other advice. Like he said, just if you walk across the tundra and then start going up, say, a mountain or whatever where the tundra ends, and the walking becomes a lot easier, just remember what you have to walk back through to get back to camp. Like, just because all of a sudden, oh, this is pretty nice walking because it's no longer the tundra.
Yeah, the tundra sucks. It's like everything is like just.
Yeah, so he's like, for sure, if you shoot something over there, just realize, like, before you pull the trigger on something, think about where you have to get back to.
And in Alaska, you have to take because they have had problems with people just cutting the head off. I mean, like the bear got it. Their first pack out has to have the meat. Yeah. You can't take the rack till all the meat's off the kill site. So you're going to be basically one tripping it, you and your partner.
Yeah.
And you have to take all the ribs. You can't take the rib meat off. You have to take all the ribs, bones and everything. So because, you know, somebody ruined it for everybody, or a lot of people ruined it for everybody. Just cut the head off and, you know, they want to see. So yeah, exactly. You're going to have a big 80-pound backpack or plus walking through softball sized rocks.
Are they elk size, or are they?
They're like a little bigger than a mule deer.
Okay. Between mule deer and elk is what Ed said.
Yeah, because they're not. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you've probably seen like a reindeer. Reindeer are like a domesticated caribou. You've probably seen them at like a winter, you know, like festival or something.
They're like short and little.
They're a little bigger than reindeer, I guess, because they're wild. But you know, they're Nolan's right. A little bigger, 15% bigger than a mule deer.
Okay.
Nolan might be able to find a weight for them.
That's not too hard to pack out then.
No, they have really thick hide though. Well, I don't know. Probably can't take the hide out because you have.
Well, you have to take you don't want to take the cape.
Yeah.
Well, and if Jay's driving, I don't know how that's going to work crossing the borders. But if I'd like him to take everything, I'd like him to take the cape, the meat, the hide. You split your racks anyway.
I think the plan is for him to take the heads, but the meat will be flown back, so it's not in the pickup for days.
Okay.
You could get it into
Oh, that makes sense because it's a week drive back. Like when we went up to Canada moose hunting, we just did it in one trip. It was like 20 hours, and Dad beast moded through it. So we got home and.
So it says males weigh 350 to 500, while females weigh 250 to 330.
Interesting. Nice. Well, that'll be fun.
Oh, it'll be great.
Do you have any plans for the rest of the day?
Oh man, we might go see a movie. I don't know what's out. Maybe there'll be something good.
I guess I don't even know what's out.
The Minecraft movie's out. That's what I'm gonna go see.
Lame.
Yeah.
Big mule deer only get to 330.
Oh, okay.
So a big mule deer is the size of a lady.
Yeah.
A lady caribou.
Anyway.
I guess we're gonna go to a movie. We're gonna go see the second part of the season 5 of The Chosen. So that'll be fun.
We're gonna go eat at Red Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Red Robin.
Yum. We would always in the Boy Scouts.
Sponsor right there.
Getting sponsored by Red Robin. You guys are all on sponsors. You guys want Montana Knife Company, and the Montana Knife Company doesn't sponsor anybody. This is free advertisement. I think they can sue us for talking about them without their permission.
Hey, please
they're going to sue us for.
Okay? We don't have any money. That's why
for the 5 people that listened last week.
That's why I'm thinking about sponsors, okay? Tax season is upon us, okay? So I need money. Please don't sue us. I have nothing to offer you except for maybe the cat.
The 5 listens, and probably 3 or 4 of those are you and Maddie.
Yeah, well, I listen just to laugh at the shit I say. So
how many times?
Just once.
So, let's see here.
We're bringing up our analytics for all you listeners. We appreciate everybody that listens. The one person that found us organically, gave us a listen, thank you. Everybody else is
we're gonna get big one of these days.
We should
people want to hear.
We should you should
I wish people would listen and then tell us what they would like to hear. I'll talk about whatever. I can talk about almost anything.
3 listens of the last episode. So one of those was Matthew.
One of them was me. I'm sorry. Hey, it's okay. We can. I'm thinking in Alaska. I can bring this microphone because you just bring like your hunting backpack, and I just I don't know. That was my brain's everywhere. I didn't really touch that, and then my carry-on had like some clothes and stuff, so I didn't have to break into the big backpack until I went hunting, and so. We can do a podcast in like a hotel room or something with Jay and Uncle Gene. We'll have to tone down Uncle Gene just a little bit.
Talk about editing.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll mark that. You think I'm the E for explicit rating? We'll get Uncle Gene on the mic and see what he has to say. No, last time I saw him, he had a. No. Don't say it out loud. No, don't even say it. No, it wasn't Pookie. But he had a suit on. It was very
What?
He was very out of place. He had a suit on.
We have to edit out. If you say his nickname, he'll be very upset.
No. He threatened to kill me last time I even threatened to use the nickname.
Well, I have to come up with a nickname for him because he likes to be called Gene now.
Just call him Eugene.
I do, but he says I can't call him that. So I'm gonna.
What's he gonna do? Hit you? Call the cops. He's Uncle Eugene.
But I can't call him Gene. That just doesn't sound right. I'm not really a nickname kind of lady. And then
Now you can call him Grandpa Gene.
that's true, Eugene.
Gramps.
Grandpa. I'm just gonna call him Grandpa. Pap. Is that what Mom kept saying last night?
Pap. No, what did people call?
Well, Papo.
Papo.
Pop, Mammo, and Papa. But she kept calling him Pap.
Pap.
So that's what I'm.
That's his nickname on my phone.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
Yeah.
I remember that.
But what is it in Modern Family? Pop.
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 That'll be the last noise they ever hear me make.
Why? I can't remember why he's gonna.
Because this is gonna be set up to space with that guy that's like a billionaire now.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm scared. But your grandkids are gonna love seeing Pop go up into space. That's good name. It's the last noise that they're ever gonna make.
Pop. That's funny.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's good. We have a new addition in the family that lives across the country. So hopefully we can see them a couple of times before they become adults.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Little baby. He's so cute.
I hate having responsibility. I wish you could just see family all the time. Take vacations. But damn,
Also,
work sucks. Well, I like work, but
I think that if I had to trade people here for them to come here, I would do that.
who would you trade? Come on. Everybody in the family listens. Go on. Let's name some names. No, I'm kidding.
Don't name names.
We're not
Just
supposed to
say,
name names.
Hey, I could swap. I could if they wanted to move back to Idaho, that'd be fine. We wouldn't even have to tell anyone. Like if they wanted to keep it on the down low, that's fine. Okay? I just want to see my cute little cousins more often, but instead we're getting raped by the government. We're just sitting here working to pay taxes. That's all we accomplish. So I can't go on vacation because I have to pay my taxes. You're welcome, everybody on welfare.
I had a blast from the past, okay? Because you told me you had to pay in taxes, and it was a drop in. I had to pay a drop in the bucket compared to you guys because you're self-employed. But
we're getting taken advantage of.
Yeah, I underestimated how much I was going to make, and I didn't realize that I was on a health plan that I get through, like basically Obamacare, Affordable Care Act, right? Yeah. And so yeah, I had to pay a bunch in taxes on extra, which is fine. Luckily I had the money to do so, and so I've been pissed for a couple weeks, but knowing that you guys paid more actually really took the sting out of it. So
you're welcome.
But now your premium probably is going to go up, huh?
That's
yeah.
So frustrating though, okay? Because we did that a couple of years. I was supposed to change the amount that we made in there, and I didn't. So at the end of the year, I wasn't surprised that I had to pay on that. But we've switched to like a health, the sharing, system.
Okay.
The thing is they want your gross profit, and I'm like, no, okay? If my gross profit cannot be used for me to get a loan on a house, a car,
yeah.
I'm not paying medical based on my gross. You guys have to take net too, because my gross is like, 120, 130,000. I'm not freaking making that much money, okay?
Especially like in the trades, your material costs are so high,
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. And that's all comes into gross. I don't know.
Yeah, you bill $5,000 for a job, and $3,500 of it is material. It's like that comes right out of you anyway. Yeah.
So I was like, no, if you guys want gross profit, then gross profit has to be used on everything. Otherwise, I'm not paying based on my gross profit. I will pay you suckers at the end of the year, and yes, it will be on the gross, but at least you didn't get the money out of me during the year. The way I stick it to the man.
Yeah. And taxes stink. I was thinking about this with my wife. I've been lucky enough that I've really never used my health insurance, but I've paid. I'm 25 now. I paid for it myself since I think I was 18 or 19. I don't know if I was on mom and dad's for very long. I think when I moved out, I got my own. And I've for $200 a month for 7 years, and I've never used it once. If I would have just gambled on it and then just saved that $200 a month, and then when I had my wife on my health insurance, it was $500-600 a month, whatever it was, because she's had some stuff. It's like, man, I would be way ahead on money, just rolling the dice. But then again, if you do get sick, it's just like gambling. It's just legalized gambling.
Did you see that video? Okay, so I don't know how, with AI, it's hard to trust anything you see on the internet. But did you see that video of the guy that was on the phone call with like the hospital?
Yes.
He was like,
He got on Newsmax or Fox News, so I think it was legit.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. He was in California, and they were saying, what exactly was it? I can't remember.
Well, the bill hadn't been ran through his insurance, and then when he got the new bill through the insurance, it was actually more than the bill they originally sent him.
Yes, and then he was like, "Can I just pay the other bill?"
And they're like, "No, you have insurance." And so he said, "So it'd actually be cheaper if I had no insurance." And the lady's like, "Well, I can't really." But yeah, I mean, pretty much.
And he's like, "So what if I canceled my insurance now?" And they're like, "No, because you had coverage at the time of the usage." And he's like, "Oh, so I should have canceled my health insurance before my daughter needed life-saving medical care."
I think that was real. I think so.
Well, I guess if he was on Newsmax, it couldn't have been, or like if he actually got out on shows,
like, the network
it can't
news,
be totally faked.
I'm sure, if it was, somebody would have debunked it by now, at least.
But I just thought that was crazy.
It was a $600 bill, and they're like, "Oh, this hasn't ran through insurance. I bet it would probably be cheaper if we ran it through our insurance." And then they get the bill through insurance, and it was $1,200.
Yeah, it's like, it's a scam when, like, anytime you get a bill from them, you ask for them to itemize it, and it goes down by like 40%. It's like they're just. I don't know about a scam, but
it's a scam.
Yeah, it's a scam, right?
There was an MRI situation. I'm trying to think if it was a podcast I listened to or someone was telling me something, but yeah, they were trying to they needed to get like an MRI, and one place they just wanted to pay cash for it, and the people knew that somehow in their system they knew they had insurance, and they wouldn't let them pay cash for the MRI, pay the cash price because they had insurance, and they were forcing them to, and then it was more expensive.
I wonder, is it like that? Because like with vehicle insurance, you can, I guess, like, I don't know, say you're in a fender bender and you just kind of damage somebody's car. You can be like, "Hey, just take it to the body shop and I'll pay for it, so it doesn't go on your premium." You know what I mean? It's a couple $100. I know it's a lot different with health insurance. It wouldn't be a bad idea if you could just do that with health insurance. You go to the doctor, just pay cash. Like, "Oh, I have cancer."
You can, unless they know that you apparently already have it.
Yeah.
Like if they don't know you have insurance, then you get this good cash deal.
Yeah. Which now we're gonna once we get some things figured out, we're gonna just cancel our insurance and go with it's like a really cheap catastrophic plan, and then just pay into an HSA. I mean, because if I would have, like we were talking, if I would have put all this money in HSA, I'd have so much money in an HSA, that would be able to. Even now, you can buy, if you get a prescription from a doctor, which a doctor can prescribe it, it might be a Colorado only, you can buy organic foods out of an HSA. All kinds of stuff like that.
Well, there was one, I was talking with one of my friends about which one they were on, because the one we're on, there's nothing for like babies. There's nothing for like having a baby. Obviously, baby care is one thing, but not for having a baby. So anyway, I was talking with her, like, because she had a baby a couple years ago, and I was like, "What are you guys on?" And she told me which one she was on, but they have massages, they have like acupuncture, they have like it all. Like, yeah.
Oh wow.
It has like all kinds of stuff, and I was meant to look into it, but when I start thinking about health insurance, I just really want to cry. So I haven't, but I was like, that's really cool. Cause like the one we have, it's like nothing, which is fine because I'm not sure that I actually do that stuff. But it would be, well, if we had a baby, it'd be nice. I mean, I don't plan on anything going wrong. I plan on being in my house or camper giving birth. But, you know, if something does go wrong, which is like anything, you know, like that's why we're on like the cheapest plan. Because I'm like, I would rather pay less because it doesn't. The only reason I would go to the hospital if something was terribly, terribly wrong, and I'm going to be paying a buttload of money anyway.
Yeah,
So
or some kind of a big accident, of course, right?
I might as well just be on the lower plan because at the end, I'm still going to be paying a crap ton of money. So, because like even with Nolan's teeth thing, with his PICC line that he had to get and all that stuff that they did, like, I mean, I don't think a higher plan would have helped us all that much save.
And we were on Blue Cross at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I've told my wife
a lot because I was in there for how many months?
Yeah.
A couple months every single day, and it was like over $1,000 a day.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So if we hadn't had insurance, I mean, obviously that probably would have been half or a quarter.
But if you're
cost,
but the thing is, if you're not paying insurance, you're putting that money still into a savings account anyway. So then,
if you're smart,
you would like have cash. So you could have gone, you know, with your $12,000 bill or whatever, and been like, I have $10,000 cash. Will you take that? Yeah. And they would most of the time say, yeah, and then you could be done with it instead of whatever. But I don't know.
Yeah, haggle.
It's all health. It's all.
I don't really like doctors. I don't really like health insurance. I really don't have anything nice to say.
It's all a scam, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think so, which is a shame because I'm sure a lot of people get into it to help people, and it just when you're like another cog in the machine, you don't really have a choice to. Yeah. You just have to kind of go with the flow because otherwise, like pharmacists that do like that work with like being like a naturopath as well. Which is what my wife wants to do, is try and work with medication to get people better rather than just feeding people medication because, you're incentivized to do so, which makes sense. I mean, you're a pharmacist, you give out drugs. It's like, that's the lowest end of the pay scale because you're incentivizing people not to buy prescriptions from you.
Yeah.
Which
you're
is
helping people.
Yeah.
Just letting them keep getting sicker. Here, take this medicine. Oh, well, now that you're taking that one, it's caused other issues. Yeah. Oh, here, take this one too.
And if you can do that, you can actually get, like, now, who knows the name of the pharmacist at Safeway or Rosars.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're actually helping people come from all over to.
Yeah.
If you're not just the person
a couple doctors, because not like I know like pharmacists and doctors are different, but like. There was a doctor in Montana that everybody would go to. Yeah. Because she was like a naturopath kind of and would do like chiropractic and she did, herbs and she did all kinds of stuff. But like everybody went to her because they're like, it actually worked. It actually worked. So like, yeah, if Maddie does that, then people are going to be like, okay, I'm going to her because she's actually helpful. She actually wants to help me get better, not just keep prescribing me things that are just going to slowly make me end up in the ditch somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And of course, people get prescribed stuff because it helps, right? Hopefully. But, it's not like her and I joke. You can't just go straight from like dandelion extract off your heart medication, but there's like a nice middle ground there. You can taper both ways. Yeah. So if you're out there, please don't stop your heart meds and just eat dandelion stalks. That's not going to help you. You need to... This is not medical advice, but you should do this under the supervision of a professional. You shouldn't take 3 on a podcast advice on this type of stuff.
I guess that's the disclaimer that we're going to say. We should just say, actually, anything you see on social media / the internet, don't be so easily influenced by anybody. If you're that simple-minded, then you should definitely get some help. Go see your doctor, okay?
Go see a doctor. Go see a trusted healthcare professional.
and wear a helmet and
wear a helmet.
Or
objects.
Instead of just doing what someone just says, do a little research yourself.
Yeah. That's the thing, though. Is people are so easily influenced by everything. Oh my
Get a PubMed subscription and read peer-reviewed papers. That's...
Someone said to not drink water, so I haven't drank water in 4 days, and I just don't feel well.
No wonder why my pee came out brown.
I think that only works for John Daly.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Peas? brown?
He doesn't really drink water.
Oh. Well, his body is accustomed to whatever it is.
He pretty much drinks Diet Cokes and some sort of alcohol.
Okay, I just put a mark down. I'm sorry. Nolan, you'll have to use that mark to cut it. I've got to piss so bad I'm about to cry. I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
All right,
Sorry about that.
One more thing to have a beef with before we are done.
Uh-oh. Is it with me?
No, it's with the Idaho fishing game.
Okay.
And their turkey season regulations.
So Idaho, listen up. Who is it? Brandon. Focus up.
Brandon Mitchell?
Yeah. Isn't he?
He might be who we could talk to. He would be in our...
He's not fishing game, but
No.
he's like the...
He's who backed the bill for Idaho getting expandable broadheads and lighted nocks.
Brandon, listen up.
Turkey season should be going on right now here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's making him very upset.
If you're a youth, you could be turkey hunting right now. But I think...
He has too much beard to be a youth.
I think that the regular turkey season should start April 1st. And then the youth season can be the 2 weeks before that. Because they are... By the time the 15th comes around when turkey season starts, they're pretty much done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right now they're all fluffed up getting their hens. By the 15th, they don't want to fight. They have their hens. They're not interested.
This morning, I could hear them gobbling on all sides of us, basically. There were some north of us, some south of us. And we see them down in the fields as we leave, and they're on the road fighting. They're up in the fields.
I could probably almost just jump out of the pickup and tackle one.
Like just grab one?
We sat in the road for like 2 minutes videoing them while they fought in the middle of the road before I was like, finally, we got to get to work, people.
Mm-hmm.
Slowly eased up, and they finally realized we were there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think pretty much every other state is going right now. Like and for some reason, our turkey season is pretty much starts at the end of what would be, I don't know what they call it, but the rut.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like if we started archery hunting elk in
October 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if anybody thinks that we're running low on turkeys, we're not.
Like, yeah.
They haven't been anywhere in Idaho. There's turkeys everywhere. Look in a field.
And like, yeah, I don't know how many get shot in our area here. I'm guessing
Zero.
And
so every year, all those hens hatch that many more babies. We're getting
like
over a run.
In the spring, there'll be one mama running down the road with like 8 to 10 babies chasing her. And if almost every hen does that, I know some are going to lose them to coyotes and bobcats and all this stuff. But they need to be... Well, then I think we can shoot hens in the fall.
Okay.
I think. I'm not positive about that. I would want to update myself on that before I started shooting hens in the fall.
I've never even looked at like turkey harvest numbers because turkey hunting is way different up north than it is down south. I don't know if our 4 listeners know that. But in the south, like turkey hunting is really big and it's really sought after to see a turkey. And here, turkey hunting is just something you do if you're bored and you shoot them. And I don't know.
Like there are people around here that I know that they're really good turkey hunters and they can get them at this time, like in our legal season. But it just seems to me that if it was moved at least 2 weeks, where the youth season was more when they started, like these things start fluffing up. They've been fluffing up for like a month.
I see. Yeah. Give the youth the first 2 weeks.
That's what they do now. Like now youth season starts April 1st.
I say they could give March 15th the youth season starts.
Yeah.
I see, because, they don't want too many of them killed. But, they could give you guys a week. You could get a week.
We've got at least, I think, there's at least 75 in that field. And that's just one group of them. They gobble everywhere, so.
Get yourself a landowner turkey tag.
That was still the funniest video that we have, though, of our road. As we see turkeys coming up the road. In one picture.
On our camera.
Next picture, when we had 3 guineas chasing turkeys away.
Aw, get out of here. They do kind of look like turkeys. Same kind of like big skinny
Everybody
necks.
asks if they're turkeys.
Hopefully
And
next
like,
spring
not quite, but
you'll be out here turkey hunting.
I'm hoping so. I do want to get one with my bow because getting them with a shotgun is kind of easy.
That's what I haven't shotgun hunted them at all, but I haven't got a chance to even.
You hope so.
I was listening to
from turkey hunting with us, you little.
I was listening to a podcast, and the guy was a turkey guide down south, and he goes, "Oh yeah, my clients miss turkeys all the time with the shotgun." It's like, how close are you shooting them at? Like 5 feet, where your pattern's like an inch or something like that? Like, I don't know. I know that their heads move around quite a bit, but you get a turkey choke and shoot them at like 30 yards. Your pattern's like 3 feet. I don't know how. I don't know how you're doing this, man.
I know some guy here. He's quite a few years younger than me, but they're big turkey hunters, and they got bored killing them with a bow, just a normal shot. So his goal was trying to head shoot one with an expandable broadhead.
That's pretty tough. What, you got to get them when they eat? That's the only time their head's still is when it goes down, isn't it?
I don't know.
Just kind of got to guess where it's going to be.
You can get I don't even know if it's called a broadhead anymore, but they're like a big circle.
That's like it's called like a guillotine tip, right? Yeah. It's got like 4-inch blades on it.
Yeah, and so that would work for a headshot, but
oh, poor little turkey.
But an expandable, like I shoot an expandable. That's what I have as a. Right now, I want to get the new Iron Will broadheads, turkey broadheads they just came out with. Basically, they're like I don't know if you've seen my big game broadheads.
Here, let me ask you a question before you go on. Do they still have bans on mechanical broadheads in big game hunting?
No.
Okay, so you can use mechanical.
You can use mechanicals now in Idaho.
Okay.
But Iron Wills are basically their turkey broadhead is basically like a normal broadhead, and then instead of a like a bleeder blade or whatever, just a little blade that would be behind the bigger blades.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, if it's a 2-sided blade, and then they have little bleeder blades on the other 2 sides. The turkey ones like that, only they're instead of bleeder, they're just these big old hooks that come out to help stop the.
I see. You don't want your arrow to get buried. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't want to pass through or whatever. You want your arrow to be stuck in the turkey, not all the way through. Which I think they say it can be hard to go through a turkey anyway with all the feathers.
That makes sense. Their feathers are really tough.
My turkey expandables are a 3-blade expandable, but like instead of a sharp point, it's just a
kind of like a flat chisel. Mm-hmm.
It's still kind of pointed, but it's not sharp at all. It's just like a big point.
I see.
Actually cut anything.
Have you seen those glasses that have like the bullets in the side?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have those with broadheads, and I think they're very cool. Are cool. Like instead of the bullet, they have a broadhead.
That's what she's got from this conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's nice that you can use mechanical blades now. And
lighted knocks.
I don't know. I think that they just banned that shit because of like the hunting channel. I don't know why they ever were banned in the first place. Why would you ban a more lethal version to take an animal with a bow? I think the source is out that mechanical broadheads, people lose less critters.
The problem that can happen with mechanical broadheads is someone that is not shooting as powerful of a bow, a lighter weight bow, with a mechanical broadhead that flies better than, doesn't have the power hitting it to actually
get into the meat and potatoes of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
With a non-mechanical, would they have the power?
Yeah, because you lose it takes a lot of force to open the mechanical, where a normal broadhead doesn't. You don't lose that force.
Well, why don't they just have what poundage you have to be pulling back in order to use it?
Well, you have to be able to pull back 40 pounds to shoot.
Well, that's not that hard. So who's pulling back less than that? That's big game hunting.
Well, that's the problem. Is you have people.
Anywhere there's a rule, people are going to cut it.
Well, why are people so dumb?
That's the question of the world.
Why do people shoot white-tailed deer with a spotlight out of their pickup at 2 a.m? I don't know. Why do people do anything?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if that's just weird. I just don't understand.
Yeah,
like,
people
wouldn't that just be common sense of like, okay,
yeah,
it takes more.
Well, it's not life if somebody doesn't screw it up for everybody else. It's just trying to have a good time.
I don't usually see the most relatable things on the internet, but the other day I saw a video that I was like, this lady and I could probably be best of friends. I can't remember now what song. Oh, it's the start of crap, I just forgot the song. Nickelback. I can't. You'll have to cut it all out because I can't say the words. But that makes me crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That song. I can't think of the title right now. But anyway, so it was that Nickelback song. And then, like, her words were, when someone says that they looked or followed the trail of blood for a little bit after they shot an animal, but then they lost the trail and they just went and shot another bull elk or something. And I was like, yeah, I don't know, because I've never wounded an animal because I'm actually, pretty deadly. Because if I couldn't actually kill the animal, why would you shoot at it? But whatever. I mean, I'm not retarded, so like some people. But like,
all right, Miss Perfect, I've up on a big 6-point bull elk. You didn't have to rub it in my face.
Well, no, but you didn't wound it. You just missed.
Well, I think I missed. I don't know. There was like one little tiny speck of blood. So I either blew the guts right out of it or I just missed it.
Well,
I don't know.
I guess you're in this category, okay? But how people can wound an animal and then not spend the rest of their time like our uncle, who apparently shot a gigantic whitetail, and then like a couple weeks later was like, oh, it's sitting in my pasture decomposing. Like, you couldn't find that in your pasture? Are you kidding me? Though I did.
It was actually his wife that found it while she was mowing.
Well, there you go.
That might not be right.
But
Uncle Gene, defend yourself. You know who you are.
But though I did follow him and Dad when they were trying to find Morgan's deer when we were there, and they're like, we've lost the blood trail. We don't know where to... I'm like, the damn thing's laying right behind you. I can see it from here.
That's why you lost the blood trail, because you walked past it.
It's right there on the ground.
The blood stopped dripping out of it. We don't know where it is.
Focus up, people.
It hasn't made it that far. You've went past it.
There's 30 feet change in elevation between here and North Dakota, and you lost it? No. No, I'm kidding. Oh,
dear.
Right,
okay,
guys,
well.
we gotta go.
Okay. Thanks for tuning in today on the Lone Jack Totally Off Track podcast.